Hey, Deadpool, are you looking forward to She-Hulk's Halloween party tonight? Uh, you forgot a costume, didn't you?
You should just tell Spider-Man the truth, that you forgot to get a costume.
Hey, Spider-Man's wearing a costume right now. Why don't we just take it?
No! Stealing is wrong, and Spider-Man is our friend.
How awesome would it be to show up in a real Spider-Man costume?
We can't do that. We're trying to be a hero now.
Heroing doesn't pay the bills.
What does money have to do with anything?
Costumes cost money.
Well, I don't think that's right.
What's right isn't gonna be what's fun. Yeah. I'm just gonna go.
Today we're going to be making the simplest Halloween costume there is, a ghost made from a sheet. But of course, we're going to shrink that sheet down so that it fits action figures, dolls, and other toy lines. Now before we get started, one thing that is important for this project, even though it is a super easy craft, is the choice of your fabric matters a lot. Now this white one here is just a plain cotton piece that a lot of your shirts are made out of, and most of the fabric you're going to find at the fabric store is made out of. And this navy one is a knit. And you can kind of see as I hold up my fingers here how the knit one just kind of drapes a lot better. It's a heavier material and it flows, where the cotton one kind of wants to keep its shape. So it's easiest with this project if you get a knit. And the nice thing about the knits too is you can see on the edges, it doesn't fray. Unlike the cotton one, which is already fraying even though I just cut it a couple minutes ago. So this white material here is a knit, and I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be using dimensions from a king size sheet, and once you shrink that down to 1/12 scale, the dimensions you want to use are 23.2 centimeters by 24.1 centimeters. I'll put that up on the screen for you, along with the dimensions for 3 3/4 inch figures. And one interesting thing I learned while researching the dimensions of sheets is sheet sizes aren't standardized all over the world. Like, for example, North America has their own set of sheet sizes, while in Europe, they're completely different. And even parts of Europe have their own standard sizes. I think Spain and Denmark, they just go by their own rules. And Japan has their own sizes too. So I guess to make a long story short, you can use whatever dimensions you want, but at least this will give you a starting spot. Come on, Deadpool, stand up. You're making me look bad. Then you just want to position your fabric to how you think it looks good on the figure. I think it looks best if we have one of these little triangle flaps in the front. And then that way, if he raises his arms, the other little flaps will be there to cover them. Once you have it arranged how you like, we're going to kind of grip the figure's head like that. And we need a pencil here. And we need to mark where the eyes are. And I can kind of do this just by feeling where they are. And I can kind of see the black of Deadpool's eyes too, so that helps a little bit. And these pencil marks will be a guide for when we cut the eye holes. Next, I'm just going to try to trim out those black pencil marks and see how that looks. It's easiest to trim if you just kind of fold where the pencil mark is and then do a little snip so you can get your scissors in that. I think I'm going to switch to some smaller scissors. And I'm going to start off with just cutting a small circle or an oval, because I can always come back and make it bigger later. And the nice thing about this project too is even if your eye holes end up a little sloppy, it doesn't matter, because this is just supposed to be a dodgy Halloween costume that your figure came up with at the last minute. Okay, let's try that again, see how it looks on Deadpool now. Okay, we can kind of see the whites of Deadpool's eyes in there. I might make this one on the left a little bit bigger though. And then once you have it situated just right, you could even just put a little piece of sticky tape on the inside on the top of your figure's head and then push the costume down on top of that to help keep it from shifting around. For critters that are even smaller than 3 3/4, like this Littlest Pet Shop pug here, we're going to have to make our own pattern, and it's actually not that difficult. So what we have here is I'm just going to put the pug down on the fabric, and I'm just going to roll him down one body length. And then I'm going to mark it off where his toes are. And that'll give me a good starting spot for the length. Now for the length of the fabric, let's go ahead and roll him again, but this time we're going to roll him this way. And then almost all the way. So we're rolling him 3 3/4 of the way. So he's not quite back at his starting spot. I'm just going to mark that on the fabric. And I'm going to cut that out, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, I think this one's a little long, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit on the edge here. Okay, we're getting better, but still, you got to keep in mind the smaller size you go, the less realistic it's going to look, just because of the thickness of the fabric and the way it drapes. So next I'm going to go ahead and trim some eye holes here. With circles, I find it's easiest to cut them if you make just a series of small little snips, and then you can round them out a little bit more if you need to later. And there's a cute puppy ghost. And then you're done. So that's a quick, cheap, and easy project for a last-minute costume. I'm going to try to get one more costume done before Halloween is over, because we all need to know what Spider-Man's wearing to She-Hulk's party. So make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that costume. And thank you all for watching.